I couldn't keep track of all these batteries. You know, you got a battery for that camera, a battery for that camera.
Wait, what are you talking about?
All the batteries you have to keep track of.
Oh. You're right.
Yeah. Bonjour mes amis, je suis Jacques Forster, le maître d'horlogerie. That's it.
One more.
That's it.
No?
No.
That's all the French
That's
you
all.
know?
That is literally all the French I know.
Okay.
I mean, fromage, champagne, pâté de foie gras.
I'm in my mid-50s and I'm starting a new job in the public sector. My dress code will be khakis and button-down shirts. I'm a huge GShock fan, but I know that's not quite right for work. What kind of modestly priced watch would be more appropriate?
You know, I don't know that a GShock is necessarily wrong for work, to be honest. Sure, there are GShocks that would not necessarily be appropriate for the kind of attire and the kind of work environment that you're describing. But you know, one of the classic models, one of the smaller ones, might actually work very well, and it would project the kind of unassuming yet responsible demeanor that might suit someone who's working in the private sector. Another possible option is something from Seiko Presage. Those watches will certainly add a little bit more sparkle to your outfit and a little bit more bling, I would say, in a modest sort of way to your wrist than a G-Shock will. But between those two, I think that you should be able to find something that suits both your personality and your work environment. But don't count the G-Shock out too quickly.
When I'm born again, I'd like to take the Jack Forster's job. What do I have to study? What do I have to learn? Does being good-looking help at all? Jack, did you write this?
I didn't, but of course it doesn't hurt to be devastatingly handsome if you want to get ahead in the publishing world.
Oh boy. Where do I begin?
One thing that I will say is, if you really want to become a watch specialist writer, somebody who produces content about and around watches, it's a fairly long path, but it's a fascinating one to follow because you actually do have to learn about so many different things. Watches are interesting because they touch the fine arts, the decorative arts, physics, exploration, for instance. It's really an infinitely large world to explore. So I would say start reading early, start reading a lot. And the other piece of advice that I would give is learn French. This is the one thing that I wish I had done a little bit earlier in life. My French is pretty terrible, but it's not non-existent. And even a small amount of French will actually open a lot of doors in the Swiss watch industry. It's the natural language of watchmaking. Well, French and German, of course. Follow your heart, follow your nose, read everything that you possibly can. Most people do specialize, and whatever you do, learn to parler français.
Can you please define what a Calatrava dial is and what the term Calatrava actually refers to? My understanding is that Patek Philippe created the original Calatrava watch, but in my search I see tons of listings for Calatrava watches by other brands. What gives?
You know, the word Calatrava in watchmaking is a little bit like the term Kleenex in facial tissue, I guess. It's a term that started out as meaning something very, very specific and is now used to refer to a general class of objects. So Calatrava, the name, comes from the Calatrava cross, which Patek Philippe first registered as a trademark in the late 19th century. It began to use the name for watches in the 20th century, and the first so-called Calatrava watch was the reference 96 from the 1930s, a watch which was really responsible for dragging Patek Philippe, kicking and screaming a little bit, into the modern wristwatch age. Prior to that, it had really been specializing in pocket watches. Nowadays, the term Calatrava is used for pretty much any sort of classically designed, time-only watch, which is really what the class Calatrava watches come to represent. So you'll see, for example, people talking about Longines Calatravas, but the term really does specifically refer to something produced by Patek Philippe. Read everything you can get your hands on about watches. Follow your nose, follow your instincts, and follow your heart when it comes to subject matter. Most people specialize. And learn to parlez-vous français.
Cool.
Oh, wait. It's parler français.